the Ghana Revenue Authority has indicated that they are capable and they'll be able to do it. But how? I mean, for me, that is where the key is. How can the GRA pilot a project in one of the regions on how to map out the businesses that are operating, where they are operating, how you can take taxes from source, and not necessarily having to wait for people to file? We're in business, and you see companies taking withholding tax from us, and I have to go chasing them to collect payment, to show me proof of whether they paid it on our portal, because it never shows up on the portal. You know, and that is revenue lost to the state, because if you take 5% of the project I have done with you, and I've done a project, say 1 million Ghana cedis or 100,000 Ghana cedis, you take 5%, that's 5,000. By the time you are taking a million out of 1 million, it's 50,000 Ghana cedis from one maybe enterprise, and that is sitting on in somebody's pocket somewhere, because there is no system that guards some of these things, and that's where the problem is. We talk about revenue not coming in from the cocoa sector. How are you collecting your taxes from the cocoa sector? All the middle buyers, how do they pay the taxes? We talk about gold, all these illegal miners, all these galamsey sites, all these correct mining concessions that have been given. How do they pay their taxes? How are we sure that they are paying it effectively? All the businesses that operate in the night, the nightclubs, the hotels, the restaurants, how do they pay their taxes? Who ensures that they are paid? So we have a system where we have one of the best tax systems in Africa, but we are also the one that is unable to collect the taxes. New companies are registered every day. Ghana, what's the name? Registrar General registers companies every day.
Oh, yeah.
And they give out TIN numbers. Some of those TIN numbers, GRA never follows up to find out where are these people operating. How are they going to pay their taxes? How do we take those taxes at source? We still live in a country where till today we are still issuing out manual VAT receipts. Manual VAT receipts. And you have a GRA officer coming to your office and say, well, you have issued out this VAT receipt, and they want you to, with same paperwork that we've been doing since Georgesburg economy. At what point are we going to be able to collect taxes without stress? Because one of the attributes of a good tax system is that there is no stress on the payer, on the one paying the tax. But here we are. GRA walks to your office and is asking you why you didn't collect a copy of the withholding tax that was taken from you. Really? Really? My money has been taken. Supposedly taken to have been of benefit to you, the tax collector. It is now my responsibility to go around collecting those receipts for you before you know that, yes, why don't you go after the other company? They also have a TIN number. You took these taxes from this individual. Where are they? So our problem as a country is not even in introducing new taxes. How to broaden the tax collection base? How do you bring in others? We have enough taxes on our books. Thanks be to God, under the MPP, there have been litany of taxes. You import a car that is worth maybe some $15,000, and you are paying 110,000 Ghana cedis to clear the car, minus shipping charges. And that's the country we are proud of? Certainly no. Only a select few, only about 20% of Ghanaians pay the taxes that we collect in the name of revenue at the end of the year. And that's where our biggest challenge is. Apart from investing in areas, productive areas like maybe the port system, your road networks, the electricity and all that, one of the ways to generate revenue for you as a country to spend is through the taxes. And there's no other way, because government won't come down to do business. I mean, normal business as we do, as the private sector would do. And for me, if there's any suggestion I have for the economic dialogue team, this is it.
Why? That
go and look for experts on how to track taxpayers or potential taxpayers, the leakages in the system. We were told in the GRA, the Auditor General's report, the last one, that GRA collects a certain amount of tax, and only a certain amount of tax was reported. Where is it? Where are the leakages? Can you block the loopholes? Can you block the holes, the leaking baskets? If we are able to do that effectively, I'm telling you that Ghana should have enough revenue. all these debt sitting on our books, the 700 billion now we know sitting on our books can be taken care of. Because if you are raising revenue of 138 now, 150 right now, and you are projecting to raise 200, if you raise double of that, you can comfortably release half of that to pay your debt, and we will not be in debt as we are today.
No.
And then we are already promising cutting expenditure, frivolous expenditure, cutting of leakages, sole sourcing contracts will be stopped and all that. Those are beautiful projects. But you know that after you have cut all that off, one of the things you will need is a revenue to back up your expenditure.
Sure.
Because you cannot contract the economy as much as you can. Otherwise, we'll be having, the kind of growth we don't want. There are sectors that you have to spend money. There's nothing you can do. For instance, in paying salaries, you cannot do anything. It's a statutory payment you have to pay. You understand? So for me, if you ask me, I think that the focus of some of these things should be on how do we collect the existing taxes that we have on our books. VAT started with 7.5, right? We started in the years, which year was that? And the runnings at 7.5.
17.5.
No,
it came to 10%. That's how it started. That's Kumi Preku. These are facts. It started 17.5.
For you.
Rollins, and we did demonstration, and we said no, it's a first part.
We can.
Yeah, just
check that.
Those are the facts.
But
That's what broke Kumi
that is not. It's not.
17.5.
So at the end of the day, we have the taxes on our books. Thank be to God, they have increased to 17. The same 17 he was talking about, they brought it back to the 17.5. But under Rollins, it was not 17. I think it was
so he started
7.5 if I'm not mistaken. But however, we check that now. So for me, it is how we collect it. Research has shown that it's not how much taxes you have, how many you are, bringing on board that tells the story. What tells the story is the effectiveness of collection of the taxes. Once we can reckon some of these revenues, we can easily deplete this our debt portfolio that is hanging on our neck. For which reason, even when we go to the market to borrow, we are borrowing at very high interest rates. Why would the Western world, and all the others borrow at rates of 2%, 1%, 1.5%, even sometimes in negative, sometimes zero, percentage borrowing? And you come to Africa and we're borrowing at 9%, 12%, 13%, and we're happy and excited about it. And these loans are not even denominated in your local currency. They are in the foreign currency. So are we going to be able to collect effectively the taxes that we've implemented? So for me, I think that going forward, GHOne Mahama has the leverage. He has the goodwill of Ghanaians at this moment to resolve the crisis we're engaged in as a country, and we are proud that he has come into the kingdom at such a time as this. I remember a favorite scripture that I always tell people, that Mordecai told Esther that who knows that you have come into the kingdom at such a time like this. I believe, and I sincerely believe, that GHOne Mahama came at a time that we need him so much, and we not just needing him as a person, but his demeanor and composure in terms of the livelihood of Ghanaians and what he wants to do for this country. So we will back him up, both in prayers, we'll back him up with hard work, we'll back him up in everything he needs to make this country one of the beacon, not just a beacon of democracy, but also a beacon of growth, a beacon of good governance, a beacon of good economy. And I'm sure that destiny will find him very faithful on this journey. Thank you.
The Kumi Preku was 12.5%.
Yeah. And we brought it to what?
It was 12.5%.
Kumi Preku was 12.5%.
17. And that's what we oppose. It's not factual. I'll get it for you. Don't
worry,
at 17, then we say no. 17.5. No. That's what led to Kumi Preku.
The Kumi Preku
He stopped it and later came back with 10%. That was our proposal.
The Kumi Preku demonstration, which occurred in Ghana in 1995, was a protest against the introduction of value-added tax at a rate of 12.5%.
No, 17.5. Get it right. Don't worry, I'll get it for you. Don't worry. We lived it. You lived it. So please, let's stop that.
Okay.
Then we said, no, it's a new tax. You don't impose it so high. You get it? So they paused for about 2-3 years. Then they brought it at 10%. And we accepted it. Anyway, let's come to the national economic dialogue. And is that not what you want me to tackle? Yes. good morning to you. Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning to our viewers.
So 17.5%.
17.5.
17.5.
We lived it.
Yeah. 17. I've just seen it.
Yes,
17.5.
I don't just say anything.
It's all right.
I'm a man.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. 17.5.
The figures are
They're
my
right.
friends. So please.
I've just seen it.
So let's go. Yeah, now national economic dialogue. Ordinarily.
But why was the NPP not present? Why were you not present, Dojo?
Well, I can't tell, but personally,
why were you not present?
I wasn't invited, and as national fora, you need invitation to be present. Openi said he was even part of the committee. He's a national asset, so all of us, if your presence is, he has to do it. Tell him. Tell him. You get it, and I'm happy and proud of him with his patriotic commitment to national discourse and national agenda. It's good, all of us need to. But there are certain fora that you attend and you become a nuisance if you don't take care. So especially when you are not invited, like me when I'm not invited. But it's a dialogue for lamentation. That's what so far I'm seeing. I've heard my good friend and member of parliament, finance minister Faisal Achoforson, with the lamentation spree, His Excellency himself with the lamentation spree and co. Look, the Ghanaian people, before I move, let me touch on two things. The last year's revenue target was 145.8 billion. Not 138, and they achieved 153. I'm with those people who we say, when we came, he said, look, assembly set certain low target and then they exceed, and they'll be clapping for that. I said, no, that's not.
Be doing KK party.
Yes. Oh,
you next time, and then you got
you got me. You get it. So that is not, I'm happy the 200 billion target ATO has set is good. Let's go. We were having ambitious. Sometimes people tell us too ambitious and all that. Then the second one, my brother Wanda touched on. He said you're importing a vehicle of $15,000, right? Then you're paying a tax of 1.1 billion. I know
you said over 100,000 cities.
10,000 That is about $6,000. But he won't quote the 6,000. He will go to. This is agenda. What agenda? The whole thing. 15,000. Yes, it's high. I will agree.
No, but if I'm importing a car for 15,000, which is about 230,000 cedis, and I'm paying over 100,000,
it's high.
Then we should stop manufacturing.
You minimize the alarm small. But whatever it is, our duties at the port.
Astronomical.
That is how come people who have been moving to the Togo ports and others. In fact, even Mali, Burkina, I got a point.
People are
that's
trying to
how
beat the system.
Yes. So it's something that we need to put. The national economic dialogue. Look, Ghanaians voted for the NDC. The NDC presented. I didn't bring it today. Their manifesto. To the Ghanaian people, resetting Ghana's economy and co. And Ghanaians bought into it. Look, the fact that people are a party or government is rejected the way we were rejected doesn't mean everything that we did was wrong. President Mahama was rejected with almost 1 million votes, but he's been accepted back. You get it? Almost 1 million. I said President Mahama. No, I'm coming. I touch on the way we were rejected. It doesn't mean so. Look, in the family budget and co, you want the children to go to school. You must pay the bills and all that. So because of that, there are certain measures you put in place that instead of eating with eggs 3 times a week, you're going to take egg once a week and all that. The children will not be happy. You get it? But it's for the family good. If there were any chance for the children to vote for the father's decision, they'll vote against the father. But it's good for their interest. So these are at the time. the economy was there. I'm not going to run away. We sat here. We admitted. My opening was here. We admitted. My wonder himself. You know, economy is part of the reason we were humiliated the way we were humiliating. What we humiliated 1.7 million. So he wants me to mention it's true. You get it. But it doesn't also mean that the Ghanaian will not look at the situation. I've said it before. President Mahama has decided to bask on lamentations. Even in Parliament, the State of the Nation, he gave lamentation. National Economic Dialogue, lamentations. Look, our debt situation is true. 721 billion. True, you get it. So that is it moved from 120, which was, you know, as of the time, about 73.1% of GDP. Okay. So today we are talking about 72% of GDP. Okay, that is and our economy had expanded by over $20 billion. Okay, that is important. Expansion, and there are other things. See, President Mahama, we'll get to that one. The dialogue, the way they are touching, so they want to tell Ghanaians what they want the Ghanaian to hear. They are not talking about the $8.9 billion reserves at the Treasury. They are not talking about that. You get it? They are not talking about that. Okay, and that is a story that ought to be told, but the president didn't touch on that. He didn't say, look, for the first time, mostly a new government, most times when a new government takes over, most of the things they touch on the economy are the macro indicators. President Mahama didn't do that. Why? Have you asked yourself why? He didn't touch on any of the macro indicators. He didn't, because they are good. If you do that, it was going to show that his performance in 2016 was abysmal. So he didn't touch, and then he kept lamenting that criminally managed economy, what, but running away from the indicators. The Treasury there, surplus, 5.9% surplus, as against 2% deficit in 2016. Okay, these are things that we need to put out there. We need to look at that. Yes, inflation. He talked about it. 15.4% when they were leaving. True. When we took over, we had in 2017 inflation was 11.8. In 2018, inflation was 9.4. In 2019, inflation was 7.9. Single digits.
2021.
Then 2021, 2022, 54.1%. We do why? Exogenous factors and co. Okay, what hit this country and the world when you shut your economy for almost 9 months and co? Certain sector of the economy works. They stay at home and yet we pay them and all that.
You say we shut our economy for 9 months?
Yes, our ports and co were shut down.
For 9 months?
Was never shut down. The ports were never shut down.
Were the ports shut down for 9 months?
They never even shut down.
Are you talking about our airports?
No, I'm talking about our ports. Because of COVID, importation and co were not working. The recreation sector was virtually grounded. This almost 1 year.
The hospitality sector.
Yes, hospitality sector. Almost 1 year. I was in the COVID committee. I've been there, not a member, but I've been in the discussions all the time. COVID committee, because of where I was coming from. So I was part of the discussions mostly. And so these affected the recreation sector. Virtually shut down. Hotels were closed down. Okay? So please, these are realities that we confronted. So inflation went as high as 54.1%. And then by 2024, when we're exiting, okay, the IMF had projected 18% for us, okay, but gave the upper band of about 22% and lower band of about 16%. Okay, we exceeded the upper band by 1.8%. Okay, in 2016, the projection was about 10.1%. They did 15.4%. Okay, with the same IMF engagement and co. So these are the realities. We brought it down from 54 all the way to 23.8. It's not the best, but under the circumstances, it tells you we put in certain measures that help to stabilize the economy. Okay, these are realities. Growth. First quarter 2024, 4.8%. Last I quoted it and I'm going to repeat it. Second quarter, 7.8. Third quarter, 7.0. Third quarter, 7.2. Average about 6.4% end year projection. That is what it is. That's why the president didn't see the need for him to quote those things. It's important. We had difficult times where we said that we had turned the corner and we were on the course of growth. The debt, domestic debt exchange, this thing, we all saw the challenges it brought. It's one of the reasons where people, the middle class to upper class, most of them voted against us because of that challenge. It is a fact that we paid 3 of them before we left office, 3 times. And Lily, look, I am not inspired by the President Mahama administration so far. The goodwill is still there for them. But Lily, 2 months, T-bills of 67 billion borrowing. My brother was talking about borrowing. Okay? And they've not done anything to abate it. They are even on borrowing spree. 2 months, open easy here. 67 billion from the T-bills, domestic borrowing. 67 billion.
It's not true.
Okay? 2. God, get your back who you challenge him. He's put it out there. Okay? His number of a minority.
The posts were not shut for 9 months.
Is it?
The president announced for 2 weeks.
Is it?
It was not the post.
What are you saying?
Did you believe him when you said it?
Please. You don't understand what I'm saying. If you went to China, you wouldn't get anything to bring.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm talking about. The posts were virtually
okay, so they were empty, but it's not that they were shut completely.
It's shut. Business is not moving. What is the essence of the port?
But it's not
coming. What's happening?
I mean, there were vessels that were coming. I'm just reading from the Ghana Ports and Harbour. There were vessels that were coming. Just that, I
don't worry.
The place recorded 0 COVID cases.
Understands the context in which I'm speaking. So
okay.
Don't worry.
So you are speaking in terms of context. That's
yeah, no, that's the truth. The reality that dawned on us.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
So here's the matter. So Ghanaians saw where we went through, what we went through, and then the challenges to the point where even members of our own caucus in Parliament wanted the finance minister out and all that. We went through all this, but ultimately, these were the figures that we left. So the national economic dialogue, if we are having those engagements, the lamentation and co, I pray that there will be a session to deal with the reality. But the truth of the matter, Lily, is that the Ghanaian voted for the NDC manifesto to be implemented. Okay, fortunately, they've sent a brilliant man to National Development Planning Commission, one of my favorite people, citizens, Nimoy Thompson. Okay, I
mean, he was there before.
Yes, yes. So he's back.
I was there with him.
Yes, good, good. So you're going back with him?
I don't know.
Good. You see, I'm happy. If I've endorsed him, it means I'm endorsing you.
But you're not the appointing authority, unfortunately.
No. So I think
maybe if Wanda endorses him, then he can catch the eye of the authority.
No. When I speak, President Mahama listens. President Mahama knows I'm a good citizen. He listens, okay?
He actually told me yesterday that he listens to our show.
Yes.
Okay.
He listens. I saw somebody, I can't say it, somebody close to you told me that the old man listens to you. And he likes the way you accord him respect.
Okay.
Anytime I speak about him, I may disagree, but I accord him that respect as a number 1 citizen, former. Now as number 1 citizen. Look, it's not all of us who can be. We are pushing up and need to go at his pussyfooting. You get it? It's not an easy thing. So I think the dialogue, well, I pray. I don't have any confidence in whatever they are going to bring out and all that. It's part of the processes to engage the nation that we are doing something. Okay. What's important is President Mahama has taken office. I've commended him for his style of appointments, the people that have been appointed and all that. What is it about this stars of any? You can tell us.
Anyway.
Stars all over the place. I'm waiting for your appointment.
I am not a member of the NDC.
I don't know, and it's creating tension down there
What's
among
stars?
the NDC.
Oh, I mean, some
NDC
of the appointments. I mean,
the stars, the film stars. Okay, those people. Wonder.
But
I'm talking for you.
If they believe in the ideologies of the NDC,
yes,
if they have the competence,
Oh, you mean
why not?
in the creative arts?
Yes.
Have you seen something written by our good sister Bridget Otu?
Oh, Monkey Way.
Are you implying what she wrote?
No, but you see, Bridget writes a lot of things, so you cannot say that it is.
But Lily, to round up,
is an inference
the
to that,
dialogue. I'm happy Openi said he was there. Very distinguished citizens of the nation. One that was there. You know, let them, whatever it is that they come up with, the concluded document, and presented to His Excellency, will be factored into the budget. You know, there's some about 7 days, or they will finish today, right?
Yes,
they have about 7 days. Yes. So it should be factored in the. That's the objective, to factor it in the initial budget for takeoff. So we need to look at that and rounding up. This first quarter budget presented to this government was about 68.1 billion, right? So they've had a smooth takeoff, and they are on the borrowing spree and co. The dialogue today, Openi, when you go, raise it there, that they should take a pause, look at the rate of borrowing. Because if we don't take time, the 721, we are going to maybe quintuple it, the way things are going.
Okay.
But we need to progress the nation, and then let the dialogue be. But the primary objective is the NDC manifesto they brought to it, 24-hour economy, prime.
But Lily, you know, with the figures George is narrating, there are two areas they don't talk about. The fact that during that time that George talks about, we were on the IMF.
Yeah.
During that time, we stopped paying our debts.
Yeah, we're not
so what do you expect?
But we're still under IMF.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. That time before we came out of IMF. No, but when they came in, we were under IMF. By 2019, 2020, when we now got out of IMF, things just escalated
because of the global accident.
And this is what some economists told me. Economists told me that, Kwame, why is it that anytime the country's under IMF, things run smoothly? The moment you come out of IMF, things spike up. What is it that we cannot control ourselves? And yesterday, I think what you call it hit the nail on the head. Atuforcing, the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
Not the act.
Sorry?
The act is an act. It's been there.
In terms of its operation, we should stick to it. If we can do it, we can do it. If we can't do it, we tell the people we can't do it.
Discipline is important.
Definitely. Let me take a break here. When I come back, I will still touch a bit. I'll take your rebuttals on the national economic dialogue. Then we look at the minorities' delivery of what they term the true state of the nation address. I'm back shortly. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is still GH today here on GHOne TV. Still the breakfast review. My guests are still seated. Kwame Jantua, Wanda Madilo, and George AC. Before I went on the break, Kwame Jantua, you were on the floor.
No,
Wanda,
George
right?
was on the floor.
No, you came in. You came in.
Yes, but I finished.
No.
Yes, so Wanda.
No. So we had. I mean, George tries to talk about what they have left behind and all that. But we have insisted, and they know that if you tell me that you're about to die, I'm leaving for you a will that is quantified about 100 billion. As your son, I'm your son. So you're leaving for me a will that is 100 billion. You died, God forbid. And then I discovered that you owe other people over 200 billion. Have you left anything for me? You haven't left anything for me. In fact, you left me in debt. So the difficulty in understanding the MPP's view of this economy is that, we have left 7 billion in the buffer account, and yet you owe in the same vein over 10 billion. If indeed the MPP had those kinds of money in the buffer, our CD wouldn't depreciate this much, because the foreign exchange account, which is the what's the name? CD has stabilized at 18%. 18 to the dollar. No, I think that. That's the fundamental thing they have to understand. You know, in their press conference, they tried to say that, John Mahama tried to overlook other buffers, and then they mentioned
accounts.
They mentioned the IMF account, the World Bank account, and how is IMF account, World Bank account, the buffer account? Yes. No, it was never meant to be a buffer account. It only became a buffer account when we ran into crisis, and then they were showing up our expenditures. The real buffer account which we had was the sinking fund, which was created by an act of parliament, and they knew that for a fact. If you leave $63,000 less than the cost of somebody's car for a whole country like this, and then you turn around to say that we left money in the money that was in the IMF account, was it generated by them?
Yes.
No, it was not. It was the support.
Money.
It was a support from the IMF, the support from the World Bank. So don't tell me that you left buffers. That can't be a buffer. A buffer is a creation of yourself, out of your savings.
5 billion.
Hold on.
GRA
hold on.
Put in the bank account.
Hold on.
Please.
Talk. Hold on.
It's a fact.
Hold on, George. So the sinking fund was actually created as a form of discipline. While you spend, make provisions for your debt servicing. And to make provision was to keep money in the sinking fund, such that when they are maturing debts, coupons to be paid, you can rely on that at least to support you. So you are not bankrupt. But if you deplete that account, which is supposed to be the discipline account, the account that shows that you were being, circumspect in your expenditure, you don't keep any money in that account. You spent all there is in the account. In fact, when they came to office, there was money in that account. They have spent all there.
Using that account.
Do you know that they even went after, not Heritage Fund, the other one, what's the name? The Stabilization Fund. Even that one was depleted in the name of free SHS and all that. So the MPP seems to be on the frolic of their own, when it comes to the economy, and thinking that nobody else is seeing. And they themselves said that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Right. And it did expose them big time before they left office. So it's neither here nor there. This mantra that the economy was better under their tenure than it was under the NDC. Yes. They wouldn't have been humiliated in this manner in terms of defeat. 1.7 million votes, that's no joke. That should tell you that Ghanaians have woken up to the reality of the stories you have been telling them. Whether they were factual, they were real, or they were calculated to deceive everybody.
You'll get 2 million votes soon.
George,
look,
quickly,
the
so
sinking fund is like a susu box. Okay, and there are other accounts. Government has accounts that they decide to use. So you, as you say, you can put some money in there. You can decide to put it in other accounts and then use it for payments.
Put money
we're not even using that one for our payments and co. You get, so it's up to us that and heritage stabilization funds and co were tagged because when COVID issue happened, we went to Parliament and we touched those accounts. True, I have said that of what use is the central bank. Okay, congratulations, Dr. Siama. Of what use is the central bank if in crisis period it cannot get in to salvage the nation's economy? Of what use will it be? You get it? So that is it. And again, we'll be touching on that. But the Bank of Ghana debts and co, and a lot of them were investment matters, foreign direct investment. Really, you are a friend in UK or US and co who is invested here, and because of the way he's looking at the economic environment and feels, no, I need to pull out my money because of the global crisis and co, and he wants to pull it out, and then you say no, you will not allow them to pull it out because of certain internal policy. No, the central bank is compelled to take that and let the person take their money out, whether the discount, debt, whatever it is, they will absorb it. And those are the things that led to that 60-point-something billion in that year. You get it? No. So they were all printing money and all that. No, these were the real issues. When we do the DDEP, at points, this government, the central bank must take up some of those debts. Okay? Because you cannot pass it to the individual. He's an investor. He wants to go out. Okay. So you allow. So please, these are issues that we need to be looking at. And he touched on something. He just escaped. When I get it, I'll come back and then rebut that. But what's important is we have a nation to build. Let's stop the lamentations. You did lamentation 1 in Parliament at SONA, and you have come to economic dialogue lamentation 2. We want solutions. You've promised to bring solutions.
But if you say he did lamentation in Parliament during SONA, what is the purpose of SONA?
State of the nation.
So does it defeat the purpose of telling the Ghanaian people what I have come to me, painting a true picture?
That's why we've also done our true state of the nation.
Okay, now since you mentioned that, let me touch on that topic. Yesterday, the minority, led by former Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed presented what you term the true state of the nation address. He touched on the energy infrastructure, the economy as well, and the debt management. One of the critical things was that President Mahama did not appreciate the level of management, but rather talk about mismanagement by the previous government. Let me start with you, George.
Yeah, thank you. That's the issue we're talking about. Look, we all went through crisis. This nation went through crisis. The world went through crisis. We saw where we were before the crisis hit us. And then the points. I told you our inflation went up to 54.1% as of 2022. You get it? End December 2022. And so things were in dire straits as a nation. Difficult situations and co, and we didn't have access because of our credit rating and co. We didn't have access to the international capital markets and all that. You get it? So things were really difficult. But that initially we said we're not going to go to IMF. Openi and co advised us to go to IMF. We said no, we're going to use internal mechanism and structures to. That's where the e-levy issues came in, so that we can raise enough revenue. We made projections that we're going to raise about 6.9 billion. That was the initial projection. So we are going to IMF to get about $3 billion and co. So if we can raise almost 7 billion CDs internally, we are making progress. So let's not go. But by the time we decided no, we couldn't achieve those targets, it became difficult. We are saying the true state of the nation. When the president came, he lamented a lot. The positives, as I said, the growth trajectory there, the inflation that was coming down from 54 to 23.8, based on IMF band of 22%, variation of about 1.8 compared to 10.1 target by IMF in 2016, and they did 15.4, variation of 5.3%. So what are you talking? These variations happen. The IMF understands those things. So we need to sit with that. Again, we said the president did even with the energy sector debts that we talked about. We said, look, the creation of himself, that take or pay things he signed plenty and all that. You get it? What it is, you see, the PUR, he is the expert in the area. The PURC, when they did the cash waterfall mechanism payment process and all that, the PURC doesn't allow, when they are coming to make the payment, they want the consumptions, what energy consumptions, not the excess capacity and co. That one, the federal government must find its own money to make those payments because they were not units consumed by the consumer. So why should they be paid? And then it is accrued. Those are the things that were piling up. Openi is here. He's in the energy area. So these are part of the reasons that increased the debt in that energy sector. When we came to office, the energy sector was owing about $2.5 billion. Okay? And then this build up all. In fact, there was projection that in about 3 by 20, is it 3 years or 5 years, we're going to raise the debt from 2.5 to 12.7 billion. It didn't happen that way. You get it? Because we managed the energy sector well and we had, lights on throughout. That is important. How did we do that? We thought His Excellency the President could have acknowledged that, yes, the lights were on. In fact, I read somewhere that is that we forced to keep the lights on and we're piling up debts. When we didn't get the lights on, we piled up debts. You get it? So that then we come to the other aspect that we thought, look, the president should have tackled. This under the MPP government, we constructed over 13,624 kilometers of road. You get it? So when we make that, the Minister for Roads comes to say it's 673 kilometers new roads. Yes, 673 kilometers new roads. But all other roads, parchment, re-graveling, reconstruction and all that were road works that were done. Our document that I used to bring here, that's all there. We gave all. And in their 8 years then, they did 4,636 kilometers. Same scope. Same scope. You get it? So those were the matters that we were talking about. You didn't touch on that. The president didn't even touch seriously about on the LGBT thing. Okay? And seriously on this anti-galamsey fight and co. Seriously.
But he did.
He did. You must go into details.
No, but he said no. But the bill expired with the last parliament, right?
No, that's argument. You are the lawyer, Penny.
No, but hold on with that. Yes. I interviewed a leading member of the persons who introduced that bill.
Yes.
Reverend Intim.
Yeah, he was.
Yes. And he mentioned that the bill exactly.
Yes.
So the bill has been reintroduced.
No, so that is where
and it's coming from the executive this time. It's not
no,
private members.
It's still private. It's still private. They are pushing it.
No,
The president says
they have introduced this as a private member.
Private members bill.
But the president
wants to
come from the
it's a deliberate
executive
ploy to push a foot. You get it?
How? I mean, it's something that the president. You don't think that the president.
I think you should allow him to tell us exactly his motive for some of this.
No. It's a major issue.
Major issue.
You have to election. Okay. And sign it. And look, you are the lawyer.
That is a major issue. Why did President Kufuor?
I am saying.
I want to hear him.
And he was talking to the clergy.
Hold on for me.
President Kufuor, we know why. He went to the Supreme Court. He said, wait till the Supreme Court gives a ruling. Human rights masters were on there. And so when they finished,
human rights?
At the time, look, at the time the issue Supreme Court gave a ruling, I felt no. Even if I were Kufuor, initially I thought he should sign it, but later I said no. It will not be fair to the incoming government if he were to sign. Because we know certain economic consequences that come with it. You get it? So you just sign it and leave it there. Don't worry.
We didn't sign LGBT. Action Aid has.
It's Donald Trump's policy. So no, look, we're sitting here. You signed it and left it there for us. That's why we are not having this. Look, come and sign it yourself.
What was the posturing of the then NDC minority? What was the posturing of the then NDC?
The lawyer in Openi. Openi. Is it fair? Maybe we need to go to court to find out this. Do you know why? That Parliament, the 8th Parliament, debated a bill, concluded on the bill, voted on the bill, and took it to the executive. Parliament has finished its work. Why then do you say on it? Why then do you say because it wasn't signed, it's now a useless
That is dead. It's dead with
No,
the,
why
with the
should it be
parliament.
dead?
No,
It's dead.
Why should
No,
it be dead?
That is what
because
happened.
the debate is done. Everything
that
has been
is what
exhausted.
happened.
Okay, so let's go to court to look at that.
That
It's
was
not
what
because
happens.
we use
If
the
Parliament
taxpayers'
is gone,
money to
whatever
pay them.
they didn't when they conclude, it goes into the next.
So rounding up on this true state of the nation address, we felt the negatives that they emphasizing just to court public sympathy and all that. Look, it's not the issue. There are very good positives in there. We even touched again on this termination of appointments, recruitments, and all that. They are citizens. You preach 24-hour economy, job opportunities, and co. Then you come, you're doing 24-hour layoffs and co. It's not the best for the Ghanaians.
Is that what you
get
call it? 24-hour layoff?
Layoffs, that's what is happening. You get Lily. So we thought we should put all these in proper perspective for the Ghanaian to look at, and then we see the trajectory. I said sometimes that President Mahama has goodwill, but some of these actions are chipping away those goodwills. You get it? And so he needs to look at that. Then we can make progress. That's why we brought our alternative, the true state of the nation.
Okay. Wonder.
Will we get a chance to talk again after this?
Make your
I
point.
want to make a very passionate appeal. Just
Okay, please, but you make a submission on of the minorities. SONA.
I don't know. I read through their press conference. First of all, it was rushed.
No,
And it was also an agenda.
Why do you think it was
it was
rushed?
detailed.
It was rushed because
No.
the economic dialogue was going on at the same time, and I don't think they planned that they would do this on the same day. But to chip away the goodwill of the economic dialogue, they did this on the same day. Same moment when the dialogue was going on, same moment when the president was speaking, same moment when the finance minister was speaking, same moment when the chairman of the National Dialogue platform or committee was speaking. That's when they decided to channel these figures of theirs. And it is strange that a whole former finance minister, a senior of course, Akimota is my senior and I respect him for that, but to stand in front of the camera and say that, oh, there were other, and that's what the one that irks me a little. There were other.
You were at dialogue and you were watching.
There were other. No, I read, but I read.
Okay.
It's even here. I read.
Yes.
Now, what irks me the most was when he talked about the buffers.
Okay.
And he was unable to state how much is in the other buffers. No, hold on. He talked about the sinking fund. He acknowledged that figure of $63,000, $64,000 was in there. He also acknowledged that the other one, the CD equivalent, was also there, and yet failed to tell us how much was in the IMF, the World Bank, and all the others that he talked about. And for me, I think that is where
30-something IMF money came in, and that's what they were used.
And I'm saying that IMF support is not a buffer. Can we get this straight? That the IMF support is not meant to be a buffer, and is not a buffer. The buffer that was to have been created was a discipline on the executive in their expenditure to say that even though we have had this amount of revenue coming in, we are locking this for all maturing debts, for which you had nothing.
No.
And this is a government that was under an IMF program that should have been a bit more disciplined. That's what we're saying. Number two, you in that press conference agreed that the economy was in dire straits by the time you were leaving office. You acknowledged that and asked that, given the chance, you'll be able to do something better some other time later in the future, which we are not aware of. Now, to go on and on and on and on and on for something you have been rejected for, to still start speaking as though it was the best you left, I think is worrying. This is a government that promised us that when they come to government, we would have something called production over taxation. It is on record that under their tenure, all the taxes, the nuisance taxes that we have had in this country, were piled up under their tenure. VAT, where did they leave it? Where was it when they came into office? You talk about all the charges at the port. Till today, we are paying COVID levy. We paid COVID levy all throughout the time COVID was there. And we were actually told that to pay those COVID levies, we were going to have some level of respite on the economy, because then we will not have to allocate expenditure to some of those things. E-levy came and passed, nothing happened in this country. Betting tax came and passed, nothing happened. You saw the revulsion of Ghanaians towards e-levy, and yet they went ahead and passed it. So indeed, the MPP, I don't know whether they are still in shock over the defeat, the humiliating defeat they've had. I don't know if they lack leadership at the moment. I don't know if they just lack the discipline to sit down and do a proper introspection of themselves, of how embarrassing they have led this country, and come out better, or give us a better proposal. That's why I said it was rushed. Otherwise, what's the basis of a true state of the nation's address with no offerings? No offerings. He's talking about lamentations. All throughout the 6 pages of their press conference is all lamentations. It's all talked about what happened and all that. The global crisis that they had faced, COVID that has.
It's actually on the 22 page.
22 the abridged version was on 6 pages. Okay. The abridged version.
So you're talking about the abridged version.
Was on 6 pages.
Oh,
so indeed, it is worrying for us as a government to have an opposition that is not willing and ready to do a proper introspection. I understand the team. What's the team for your group, the one that is doing the review of the elections? Do you remember?
The Professor Michael Quay.
Yes. What's the team?
No, I don't think I have.
There's a theme to it.
Is there a theme to it?
Yeah, there's a theme to it.
Okay.
And that would help us to understand where the MPP stand at the moment. I think they lack leadership. That's where I sit. Wow. That's what I see. They lack leadership, they lack coordination, they cannot even be disciplined, even in parliament and all that. So indeed, they will need some time. They should give themselves some time to recover from this shock. We've been there before. We've been there in 2016, 2017 when we lost the elections. We've been there, and it was difficult to come out. But we wish them well.
Are you saying that in 2016, 2017 you lacked leadership?
That's what you're saying. I'm saying that.
Is that an admission?
God
It
bless
was
you.
difficult for us. It was difficult. In any case, we didn't lose 1.7 million. So we can't even compare our experience with them. So they are in a more precarious situation than we are. So I agree. We agree that there's a difficulty at the moment. Because if you see some of their dealings and the things they do in
Deputy Minister who says he doesn't want the minority leader to be there before his vetting.
That's the deputy finance minister.
If he's not a good leader, then who is saying I don't want you? I'm just giving you information.
So indeed, we do understand the frustrations.
Our leader is a solid guy.
But I think that the MPP will do themselves a lot of good and earn the respect of Ghanaians if they can do a proper introspection.
We have it.
Agree that they in one breath. You see, this same former finance minister, listen to his last State of the Nation's address. He acknowledged that there were challenges on the floor of Parliament. You read the last State of the Nation's address. They acknowledge. All of a sudden, because another government is in power and telling them in the face what it is, they don't want to agree again. To them, they have left the best economy. So I think that.
But as you mentioned, Professor Quay's committee, are they rounding up their findings?
Yeah,
they're giving 3 months, right?
Fighting so much in there. There's a lot of fighting in there.
Because what happened was the Ashanti region's reports just coming out, but they are focused on
they are fighting in there, say it well. They are fighting in there because the report is blaming some people whose political career will be ended. And because of that, they are fighting so much.
Is that something you are privy to?
Yeah, we're privy to that. He knows that very well. So he just told you that the Ashanti report did what?
That's different.
What did he do?
That's different.
What did the Ashanti report do? That is not part of it. And it's not part of it.
Anyway, I just want to
shouldn't have given
how far they got.
Because the nation has set up a committee. So you shouldn't have given out yours. Though you had a good intention, you set up your committee. It preceded the national one.
No, but
you should have stopped.
The national
when you finish, you should have stopped and given it to the national committee.
Don't polish this. The national committee is actually consulting with the regional committees. The regional committees are actually minor committees that are also writing their reports to be given to the national committee.
Sub of the national.
So
the one that is out was done independent of this one.
Okay.
When they finish, they shouldn't have given it out to the public.
Okay.
Which one are you talking about? The one that was leaked?
Yes.
The one that is
saying that one. But it is true. You can't hide from that. But you see, Lily, the one thing they are not telling us.
Well, Penny advised them. What they did was not good.
The one thing they are not telling us is that the MPP got quantum resources than any government in this country. Quantum resources.
And we utilize
which we shouldn't have been in debt with those resources.
No.
They added nearly 20 billion to the economy.
We expanded.
But why the debt? Why is it that Cocoa Board has to pay 9.7 billion cedis in the next few months, September? Why? Why is the debt Cocoa Board 32.5 billion? Why is that? ECG 68 billion. Why is that?
I told you.
Debt. The debt profile is huge. When you consider the amount of money that came in, we shouldn't be experiencing that debt. So even George talks about inflation. He gives us the trajectory of inflation. But let me ask, where's food inflation? When you break it down, where's food inflation? Food inflation has always been high. And that has affected the ordinary Ghanaian.
Yes.
So what was it? What mechanism did you put in place to be able to get inflation down wholeheartedly? That's the challenge. And really and truly, I don't see how they have the effrontery to come and say they are giving their state of the nation.
Why?
When the people of Ghana have told you, you didn't do well. Overwhelmingly, look, this election, if this election was such that if this election was such that the margins were not too wide, then I'll say they have the right to come and tell us. But look at it. If NDC decide 100 members of parliament,
now we are overwhelming them.
they will still overwhelm. Oh, that look,
they were lobbying for posts.
that kind of that
has settled, hasn't
We
it?
were the majority.
I'm on the floor. That kind of slogan that they are using, we are mighty majority, and
Mighty minority.
It will not do nothing. It will not do nothing. In colloquial English, it will not do nothing because the people have lost confidence in you.
Sure.
I believe what the MPP should be looking at now is to start building confidence in the people of Ghana.
Yes, that's what we are doing.
But from the way they are doing their thing, I don't think they are interested in doing that. I don't think so. Because when you look at some of the things they say, what did my good friend Amin talk about? That they did what? They left what? Debt is debt. Debt is debt. If you have 100,000 cedis in your bank account and you owe 101,000 cedis, would you be able to pay? Even when you pay, will you not still owe 1 cedi?
No.
Will you still not owe 1 cedi? So if you put all the money together and you look at the debt, 721 billion. Where did that come from? How much money did they come and meet in debt when they came? 122 billion.
Yeah.
How much money, or what was the debt
12
when they
times
left?
the debt.
700, over 700.
12 times. Ours is 5 times.
What happened? They should be able to explain to us how we got to 721 billion. They should be able to explain to us. Because there's so many things they could have done. DDEP was like putting how should I put it? Like putting a pepper in a saw. Like putting pepper in a saw. It affected so many people. E-levy for me was theft of the people's bank account. Theft. I paid all that I have to pay. I don't have bank account, so I store my thing in Momo. Then you are coming in there too.
No, they don't come in there.
You are coming in there too.
If I'm sending it to beautiful Lily, then
Beautiful Lily is selling something.
Okay. And you don't know that it will cause problem between you and beautiful Lily. All found.
Please
Look,
go ahead.
for me, it's a collective. what I expect the MPP to do, not that they will take it, is to help us find the solutions. A lot of these challenges we are having, some are legacy, some are fresh. Please, let's come together, and I said it earlier, let's come together as a collective to find solutions. They are also lamenting. The meeting they had, what are the lamentations?
No.
And we were there, and we did this. Is it not lamentations?
No, facts. Statement of facts.
And so what the Mahama was saying is not statement of fact. That we owe 721 billion. It's not fact. It's lamentations.
That one there.
When the cap fits, when the cap fits,
where is it going to be mentioned?
When the cap fits, when President Akwaaba came in 2016, did he not lament?
He did.
Yametoshi Sikano Akabon.
And the President Mahama.
Didn't he say what? He said there was nothing in the coffers.
Yeah, Mahama said that first.
He said nothing in the coffers. So both sides should stop the lamentations.
Thank you.
Let's find a good way of finding solutions to our challenges. Right now, cocoa. How are we going to bring cocoa back? But most importantly, galamsey and our water bodies. If we do not and cannot resolve galamsey, environment is affected, finance is affected, food is affected. Very soon, European Union is going to start testing our cocoa for all these chemicals. It's going to affect us if it is found that there are chemicals in our cocoa. These are some of the things we should sit as a collective and talk about. How do we handle
Really?
it?
Let's pray for long life for Penny. We love you, Penny.
I'll come to you. So you do your final submissions. I'll take a break. But Mr. Jansen, before I take the break, I want to ask you, you are in the energy sector.
Yes.
The Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Johnson Sema, has announced that there will be suspension of the gold for oil policy. What's your take?
Suspension.
Yeah.
Not doing away with it. Suspension. What I know is that they're trying to look at that, including the gold. The gold. Is it
the gold board?
The gold board they are putting in to see how they can augment is. Look, we have made a big mistake in this country. Big mistake for not using our gold properly to shore up a lot of things. It to do. Why is Dubai? In so much gold? Why? They have seen the essence of gold and they buy from here. When Vice President Bamia went there sometime in his tenure, they said they had been able to receive 8-point-something billion worth of gold. He was surprised. He came back to see whether that was true. What was recorded here was 2 billion. That tells you there's something wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
And it is not an NDC or MPP. It's a collective thing. Why? Look, if we can do our gold well, we won't have to go anywhere from anybody's money. Whatever Donald Trump does will not affect us. Because we would have something. Oh, please. we would have something to shore up our currency.
That's what we
Our currency will be strong enough. The cedi will be strong for us to be able to use that cedi to do whatever we have to do. At the present moment, cedi ain't strong. Present moment, because the cedi ain't strong, you and me, it's affecting our pockets. Is it not?
Yes.
And we need collectively to find a way forward. And I would have.
Do you think then we need to do away with the gold for oil policy in its entirety?
There are things in the gold for oil policy that government feels can be straightened out.
Yes.
That's why they've suspended it.
They will bring it back.
Yesterday I was in a conversation, but I can't talk about that conversation here at the forum with a few people. But I can't talk about that because I haven't given the right to talk about. But if we do not find a better way to look at the energy sector debt, it will come to bite us. Look, the 3 most important things in life in Ghana today, in fact 4, air, water, food, and energy. We are sitting here today. These lights go off. Program or no program?
No
program. You finished a hard day's work. Yeah, you finish a hard day's work. You are driving home, but by the time you get to the beginning of your road, the whole place is dark. What happens to you? Psychologically, your mind just twists.
Don't bring our enemies back.
I please, what is it? Can't even open your gate. So you can find that energy is key.
Very.
But some of the debt is what? Accumulated. Some of the debt is legacy. Some of the debt is fresh. This government cannot allow more debt in the energy sector.
It's happening.
We need solutions. What is happening in the energy sector today? We need to be able to look at renewables. Very important.
Thank you.
Very important key. We need to be able to look at stranded gas. Very key. These two areas. And then, most of all, we need to be able to look at nuclear. Once these three are in place, then at least we can now look at how we distribute the energy into residential, into business, and into industry.
Okay.
Important. In so doing, in looking at this trajectory, you also need to look at how it is financed. Where is the money going to come from? And for me, the best way is to formalize this illegal mining. The youth will not stop it. So formalize it properly. The gold that comes out of it, PMMC should be the only one who receives that gold, so that the money we get from it stays. Capital flight doesn't take it out. Anybody who comes in, and if we can, we shouldn't open our gold industry to foreigners. We should make it a Ghanaian local content thing. A Ghanaian local content thing where it is the locals, the small scale industry are contributing gold to the larger pocket. We can use it to handle a lot of the challenges we are going through.
Okay.
It should be looked at, and I hope the MPP with such a thing would come to the table and help us move things forward. They cannot sit on the sideline. They cannot. Yes. When was the last time we did exploration to production?
Okay. Let me take a quick break here. When I come back, I'll give them a chance to have their final bites at the issues, and then we'll wrap up. Back from that break, this is still GH Today and still the breakfast review. My guests are still seated. Kwame Jantua is a leader member of the Convention People's Party. Wanda Madilo is a policy analyst and a member of the NDC communications team. And George AEC is a member of the NPP communications team. Let me take your final submissions and then we can wrap up here. George.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I think one area too that I'll plead with His Excellency the President is on the activation and operationalization of the Agenda 111 facilities that are completed, about 6 of them, which includes the Ofori Chrome one. I've seen it. It's so beautiful. All you need, a bed, everything in. All you need is to put staff there to start. Okay, and so we plead that let's operationalize that. Openi says something that if they decide they can build 16, no. There are regional things already, and all are factored in there. If he cannot complete all, he says he needs 1.7. My leadership said it's about 1.3, 1.4 billion. Whatever it is, my satisfaction, I said it here, that I'm happy with his commitment to continue on the program. You get it, the Agenda 111. Even if he can do all the rest, I gave you ranges from 22% to about 80-something, 90%. You get it. So let's target some, finish them, operationalize them, so that the people will benefit from that. And Openi, I'm happy with his advice. This back and forth for lamentation and all that, you know, they are in government. The onus is on them to deliver the promise to the Ghanaian. We may have the luxury of, you know, firing and putting them on check. That's our responsibility. But they should keep their focus, the 24-hour economy promise, so the job opportunities for the youth. When they get it, we are all happy. You get it. People have opportunities. Ghana is happier, safer, and then we progress as a people. We will not wish them bad. We wish them bad.
So we do know that under the MPP, the economy was in shutters.
No.
The economy
the figures don't support.
Akufo-Addo was more disastrous.
No.
And broke than Men's Gold was. And we are thankful to God that we have come to a crossroad as such as this to reset our economy, get things on course, get people employed, reduce unemployment rates, put food on the tables, create livelihoods, decent ones, of course, and to expand this economy. That we are very confident of in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. That said, I have a very passionate appeal this morning, and it comes to me in tears that for the period of 8 years under the MPP, my village, where I come from, I mean, you see all this about tidal waves. I'm a victim of tidal waves. We used to live in Kita. We lost our house to tidal waves many years ago. Then we relocated to the new place where you see now with the tidal waves coming all the way to the road and all that. That's where I grew up. I know all those places. I've lived there. And I've been there. And I just want to plead. In fact, it would do me no evil to go on my knees this morning to plead with the finance minister, plead with the works and housing minister, plead with the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that this matter is of so much urgency, and the earlier we resolve this, the better. People have called for relocation or resettlement. I am all for resettlement, but in the interim, something has to be done. No, I mean, the two must go hand in hand, because the land that has been taken over already by the sea, we cannot reclaim all of them. So certainly some part of the population will be resettled. Other parts would have to do the sea defense project. Yes. It stopped under the MPP and it has been ravaging our homes and our livelihoods. The only reason for which we have not had an outbreak of disease is because the seawater is very salty. And so immediately it comes in contact with any of those, the salinity level of the water suppresses all those infections. Otherwise, you see all the graves, the open graves that we have had being open. My own grandmother was relocated just a couple of months ago, and it's worrying. It's a sad situation for us, and I think that the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is a listening person.
I understand it's become severe because the defense war was made to a point, and you know,
exactly. It's ravaging our homes.
Yes.
I don't mind kneeling down this morning on live TV to.
So what do you want?
To us. I want us to look at that matter as quickly as possible.
See,
Relief
defense.
items have already come in. I mean, NEDMO has been on that course and
Lagos, Ikoyi were able to claim huge portions of the land from the sea. They were going through the same thing. When you go to Ikoyi today, they build mansions on that land that they claim. Why can't we do that in the whole?
Dubai is also done.
Why?
So
Why?
No, so let me explain. So you see, look at the ecology of the area. The area is such that the sea is on this side. A few right now about only 10, 15 meters. Then the lagoon is on the other side.
Yeah.
So the people are locked between the sea, few land,
like Tema.
yes, and then on this side of the divide is also the lagoon.
Yes.
So you do not have before you can push the sea back. One, you need to be able to do dredging, and dredging is after you have pushed the sea backwards, and you have to fill up. You need rocks, sand to fill up before you dredge. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Let me see.
You are talking full engineering.
Not too many kilometers from that place. About 10, 20 kilometers from that place is where they slated for the Kita Sea Port, which is the harbor. If that was done, then you can be talking about reclaiming the land on that score, because you need to be able to contain the sea as it is now in order to push it forward. If you see the way harbor, if you see the way harbor is
very
created,
capital intensive.
Yeah, if you see the way harbor is created, it's the same process.
Okay.
It's the same process, and you need it takes a lot of time and all that. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Exactly.
We have a disaster on our hand now.
You see what we're doing? You see what we're doing? We always bring the negative before.
No. I'm
explaining
saying that there's an emergency now. That is a luxury project.
I understand there's not luxury.
No, it's a luxury project.
Yes, they're saving people's lives. It's necessity.
Right now,
luxury.
No, right now there is an emergency. I can't be talking about luxury.
Listen. How come a place like Dubai was able to push the sea back and build mansions? It's got to do with planning. It's got to do with planning. Now that the Marine Drive project, we started in Nkrumah's time. Why have we played football with it?
So we continue.
The president mentioned it.
Yes, why has it taken 68 years to do the Marine project? What is it? And nobody has been charged for it all. Money has been spent there. People have chopped money and nobody has said anything.
How do you know money has been chopped?
Please, why let's call a spade a spade. Maybe budget those are some of the challenges we have in this country.
My time is up. My producer is not here. Please, I have to go. Unfortunately, I have to go. Anyway, thank you very much, gentlemen. Kwame Jantwa is a leading member of the Convention People's Party. Wanda Madilo is a policy analyst.
To stand for president because I don't understand it.
Wanda Madilo is a policy analyst and a member of the NDC communications team. George AC is a member of the NPP communications team. Thank you very much. But George, you said you were going to send me Momo, so I'll come back tomorrow and show evidence of it. He said he was going to send beautiful Lily Momo. So please, beautiful Lily will be back tomorrow with evidence. Thank you very much. I'm back shortly after this video. Stay tuned in.
Accra Esther Sechi-Dawson, name Mensa of the 1975 year group, and we are celebrating our Golden Jubilee. And I'm here with,
my name is Accra Mary Apia Eshen, Clark House girl, class of 1985, and we are here celebrating with 1975. This is 40 years since we left the Grey City, and we have joined forces with the class of 1975 to bring a legacy project to Akimota School.
So we are really excited to come your way and to let you know that the OAA Talo Science Block is going to see life. And this is courtesy OAA 1975 and 85. We have raised funds for our legacy project, and we are just excited that from the 5th of March, really,
yes,
we are going to hand over this legacy project to the school.
We are equipping all the 4 laboratories of Akimota School. We've got the physics lab covered, chemistry lab covered, biology lab covered, and the agric science lab is also covered. Together with 1975, we have raised 1.5 million cedis to use in purchasing the equipment and other resources that students can use as they study science in the school. We got so much from our science studies. Both of us
are scientists.
Both of us are scientists, and so we speak from experience, knowing that having these resources really does help in giving you that hands-on experience that you need when you get to university. And we're so proud to give something back and to watch today's students benefit the same way that we did.
It's so exciting for me personally also, because as someone who teaches in the university, it's sad when students come and you realize that they really haven't had the hands-on that they need because of lack of equipment, lack of resources, science resources. And so this project that 75 and 85 have done, it's a real legacy, because we are actually impacting the lives of these students who are going to pass through the walls of Akimota School, and they are going to use these labs, they are going to use this equipment, and we know that from this we are going to get some really great scientists who are going to help Ghana in the future.
So what we want you to do is to join us, okay? Starting from March 5th, when we hand over the resources, the equipment, all the stuff that we have purchased between the 2 year groups, we will hand them over on March the 5th. Right? And the March 6th is Independence Day. So there's not too much happening with regards to the legacy project, but the year groups will be doing their own thing. On Friday, the 7th, that's when the fun begins.
Yep.
And there's going to be a bonfire night courtesy of class of 2000.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday,
2000.
And they call themselves the 2G. The 2G.
Yeah.
Not 2K. 2G. All right. The 2G group. And then on Saturday, we have the Durbar. And come join us. We're going to be celebrating, because it's exciting that after 40 years for the class of 85 and 50 years for class of 75, that we're able to do something together. I think we don't realize how precious that is, that we're together with people that we went to school with when we were about 10 or 11 years old. It is a phenomenal thing. Then on Sunday, we go to church to give thanks, and then we eat together, and I'm sure there's going to be a dance afterwards.
Yes.
But we want you to join us, because it's not just about us, our year groups, not just about other Accras. If you are a lover of education, and you are a lover of children, and you know that education is the key towards getting our country to be prosperous. We want you to join us and show your support for this project. So we look forward to seeing you between March the 5th and March 9th as we celebrate this momentous occasion and give back through our legacy project. So on behalf of the class of
75,
right, 1985
and Accra 2G,
Accra 2G, right? We just wish you all well and hope that you will join us. So this whole celebration is powered by us.
Yes,
right?
Accra
so come,
75,
join with us.
Accra 85, Accra 2000.
That's quite an interesting video there. So Accra 2G is in the house. Audrey Nete and Derek J. Sika, they are both members Accra 2G committee, planning committee. Audrey is with the event team and Derek is with the finance committee. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I see Accra 75 and 85, they are all bubbly and eager for the celebration.
Yes.
What's different about what 2G is doing?
So like they said in the video that we just saw, they are handling, or for their legacy project, they've bought equipment for all the 4 science labs in Akimota School worth 1.5 million. For Accra 2G, we're putting up an 18-unit classroom block, which is worth 7.5 million. And so far, we've been able to
what will it house? Is it? Are you giving it to the school, or you're determining what it should house?
So we are building it and handing it over to the school completely. It will have 15 classrooms. It will have a staff room. It will have a library and a STEM lab as well. And we're going to hand it over to the school. And from what we know, with the increased numbers on campus now, the additional classroom block is going to really improve learning and just generally the stress that is currently being faced in the classrooms at the school.
Let's find out the rationale behind all the 3-year groups. I mean, year 2000 is far away from year 85 and 75. Why are all the 3-year groups coming together?
Okay, so Akimota has very unique traditions. Okay, so when you chalk a milestone, you are required to give back to the school. And so for us, we are chalked 25 years after leaving school. And funny enough, so we are doing a legacy project, which is the 18 classroom block. When we entered school in 1998, we came to enter into a new classroom that was built for us. So it's only fair and befitting and right that after 25 years of leaving school, we are also able to give back to Akimota and give back this 18 classroom block. It's a weekend celebration starting from Thursday because it's a combination of year groups, as was rightly put. Accra 2G starts on Thursday with a school feast, and on Friday with the bonfire. And then on Saturday, 75 and 85 take over with the parade.
Thursday is a holiday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But we are feeding the kids on Thursday. It's a school feast, a tradition that we have. It helps us be able to mentor, tell our stories to the young ones, encourage them, dine and eat with them. We are like big uncles and father. You've come to your kids, so we give them very delicious meals. So that they'll be having ice cream and a lot of fanciful food that you regularly
I like it when food is served anywhere. Am I invited? Oh yeah.
You're invited.
Definitely invited. So Thursday and then Friday what?
The bonfire night, which we are calling the rave. I'm sure Audrey will tell us more about it as the show progresses. So on Saturday there's a parade and then there's a derba. The derba is a tradition that has been going on for years. So it's steeped in our Akimota culture, recognizing the founders of Akimota and all of that. So that's the 75 and 85 handling that one. And then on Sunday we have our Thanksgiving. You cannot do anything without God, and as such we go back to church to go and say thank you to God for a successful program over the weekend.
He mentioned that for the rave you have all the details.
Oh yes. So on Friday is where we have our torchlight procession and bonfire nights. We start by going around the school oval holding torches. We remember the past and look forward with hope to the future. Once we are done with the procession, we end at the bonfire and we have a throwdown. So it's a party. I mean, when we were in school, it was a simple school event, but now we like to think of it as an anticipated Accra event. And so that is where we invite everybody both Akures, old students. The students will be there as well. To all come together. There'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be good music, there'll be surprise acts, there'll be different artists. We'll get a lot of support.
Why title a legacy project though?
So like Derek mentioned earlier, every year group that if 7 million people give 1 CD each, we would complete the project immediately. So I mean, everybody should come and support us. For GB Foods or GHOne products, we have Van Milk Ghana Limited, Sankofa Spices, OCM Cereals, we have Piva Drinks, we have Verna Mineral Water, we have La Bianca Foods, we have Walmart Africa, Kivo 3-in-1, J-Max Salads and Juices, Party Sense, and Sweet and Taste Couture Cakes. So these are the companies that have already supported us. We're so grateful. We look forward to even more sponsorship from them, and we are reaching out to everybody else to come in and support us as well.
I think that we selected our legacy project based on engagement with the school.
Okay.
When I was in school, I sat in a 20-25 classroom. Today in Akimota, they are sitting in a 60 classroom, 60 in a class. So it makes learning much more difficult. Okay, so when we went to the school, wanting to do our legacy project, we engaged the headmaster, we engaged OA Universal, and they said this was a project that we need because when the student numbers are so many, it makes teaching quite difficult. It makes learning quite difficult. We want to bring Akimota to that standard we all know Akimota for. So we decided to go for this classroom. This classroom will be able to sit about 750 students. Okay, so it's a large project, but we believe that with everyone's support, we can be able to do it. Amongst ourselves, we've been able to raise about 2.4 million. We've done the ground floor.
So that's the projection?
We've done the ground floor, yes. So we've done the ground floor, and we've also done the first floor. We're about to flow. So if you want to support us, you can support us by donating to our Momo or to our account details, which has been projected on the screen.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. Your final words to all Akures. Since you are only looking at 2G and 75 and 85.
Oh, no, not at all.
So everybody, the general public, all Akures, parents are all invited to the celebrations. But we just want to keep the focus on the legacy project because that's the one thing that will stand the test of time. And we just want to encourage everybody to support us.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you too for coming. So that's Audrey Neti and Derek J. Sika. They are both members of Accra 2G. Audrey is with event and Derek is with the finance committee. Please sing for me your anthem. Then you can go. I like that. I put you on the spot.
From Gambaga to Accra, from Riasa to Keita, we are brothers and our mother is our school. She will guide us all and eat, so to learn that we may teach, so to subjugate ourselves that we may rule. Play the game, shout her name, spread her fame afar. She's the head of all the hosts, she's the school of whom we boast, she's the glory of the coast, Akimota.
Anyway, thank you too for coming.
Thanks for having us.
We do hope that all the people that you're looking forward to support you will support you, and more people also coming to support you. It's a great project that you're embarking on.
And we forgot one. We also wanted to thank GHOne.
Of course. I would have charged you if you didn't.
For this wonderful opportunity to help us tell our story and to reach out to everybody. We appreciate you so much for the support. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's it for this interview. Please stay tuned and I'm back shortly. We'll talk about more celebrations after. to you. If you're marking any significant milestone, I say congratulations to you. You're marking that milestone with Ghana as we celebrate our independence in 2 days. I'm back shortly after this with a stay tuned in. celebrate our Independence Day celebration. And so there's a festival. Let me let you in. My guest this morning, someone he's PRO for the Akwaaba Festival, Kofi Kakra Kusi is Deputy Director Domestic Marketing of the Ghana Tourism Authority, and Nanaba Kwesi of Motherland Venture, right? Okay. Good morning, gentlemen and lady.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Let's talk about Akwaaba Festival. What is Akwaaba Festival?
Okay, so thank you very much, and good day to all your viewers and listeners. So Akwaaba Festival finds its roots all the way back in 1998. We're talking about the famous, iconic Akwaaba portrait, the lady in the kente holding the calabash with Akwaaba. Yeah, so that picture is kind courtesy Mr. Joe Osai of CJ Multimedia. And CJ Multimedia are known as one of the oldest rental companies in Ghana, be it for cameras, lighting, LED screen, stage, and everything. And they've been a great support for the entire tourism, cultural, creative arts industry in Ghana. And we all felt the impact of that wonderful picture. Just one portrait changed the game for all of us and made us appreciate who we are and project. And so over the years, we were looking for ways and means to do something to continue that great work. And about 4 years ago, we decided to bring about the Akwaaba Festival. And so from 6th March to 8th March at the National Theatre, we have series of events. We're going to give people the opportunity to sell, buy, and exhibit their products as well. So each and every day, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., you're going to get the chance.
10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
You get the chance to sell your product. You get the chance to market your product to the rest of the world. And the people can come and also experience Ghana over there. So the local foods, the drinks from various ethnic groups, and the dialects, every other aspect of it, we are bringing it to life during Akwaaba Festival. Each and every day, the first 2 days, we're going to have a musical concert in partnership with Musica. We can't have this event, we can't do anything tourism without GTA, Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, NCC, National Theatre, and the rest. So it's very important that we do this. 6th March to 8th March, free musical concert the first 2 days. The last night is a ticketed event, 50 Ghana cedis only. We're going to have the high life session, purely Ghanaian music. We're going to have the Wear Ghana fashion show, where we are connecting with the fashion world. So everything, modeling, clothing, textile making, everything comes to life during that night. So the Akwaaba night,
so we're showcasing Ghana for 3 days.
For 3 days.
Wow.
And we are not just doing it domestically, but we are also inviting the rest of the world. That's why we have partners like Tour Motherland on board, GTA, because GTA allows you to reach everybody. The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts allows you to reach everyone. Musica allows us to celebrate our music, our high life, the Afro beats, and every other genre we have, the Afro dance or whatever it is. So, if you're here and you're watching us, please 0535 481988 0535 481988. You can just call us and then we'll help you exhibit your wares and your products. We'll give you a tent, electricity, chairs, so that whenever you get your clients, you can be able to sit with them and then do business with them. And if you're a talent out there and you like to take the stage and perform, kind courtesy, the first 2 days you can perform on the Musica concert. We are going to set up a beautiful, wonderful stage with LED screens, lighting, state-of-the-art equipment. Cameras will be streaming live. As well, over the years, we've had the likes of Peku Flake, the Kumasi artists, Kumawood. Everybody take part in it. This year we're going to have the likes of the Kenatas, the Ochame Kwames, the Tego Sisters, Mesa Simons and whatnot. Free musical concerts, and so everybody should come sit to it.
Come and have a taste of Ghana.
Yes, please.
But Nanaba, I'm wondering, why did you partner this event?
Because of their vision.
Okay.
Yes, it's tallies with my vision. So I was really excited about what Mr. Joy Osei, who is the owner of the Akwaaba, the one who created the portrait, he put it out there on social media, and I saw that, and I called him, and just talking to him, I picked up the vision, as you said, showcasing Ghana to the world. Everyone is showcasing Ghana to a degree, right? But my aim as Tour Motherland is to go beyond just the slavery, to change the narrative, because we are kings and queens before the slavery, and that's the impact that I want the world to see. And having that platform, Akwaaba at National Theatre, to have a lot of local artists to showcase what we have, the food, the drinks, the attire, that also ties into what Tour Motherland does, because we are not just a travel agency.
I want to ask you, what really do you do at Tor Motherland, and how many years have you been doing this?
Okay, this year is our 3rd year.
Oh.
Yes, so we're 3rd year, we're thriving, and what we do is to bring diasporans to Ghana to visit, but we travel in style, so it's not just like a regular travel and tour. We customize all the tours, so we have orientation, get to know what you like, so that we can put together a unique plan just for you.
Tailor-made.
Exactly. And also we do have events as well, so it's like a destination events travel tour. If you want to have your birthdays, you have any events that you want to celebrate here, we take care of all of that. And when you get to the airport, Kotoka International Airport, we have cameramen, videographies that take your videos and pictures throughout your whole tour, so we capture all that as well. We also do flying dresses, traditional wear dresses, and we are going to give 5 lucky winners during the Akwaaba Festival on the 6th of March, a free flying dress Ghana flag experience. So if they stop by our stand and you're lucky, you win.
What specifically will you be handling during the Akwaaba Festival?
We will have the flying dress photo shoots, and we're going to have the traditional wear photo shoot, and then we are going to also educate people about traditions. So we're going to have our team there telling them, like adorning them with the jewelry and telling them what all that is about, until basically break it down to why we wear the kente, why we wear the ahinema, why we have this cowries, what it represents, the symbolism, to let them know, whoever is interested, to know the history, because we want to share our heritage, and we also want to make everyone look good as well, right?
I love the fact that you mentioned the cowries and whatnot.
Yes.
Very often people think that it symbolizes traditional religion, spirituality.
Yes, and that's where we got our CD from.
Yes.
That's CD. Yes, and that's where we got. So, and my understanding is with the history, it's wealth. It means wealth. So you're wealthy. If you're wealthy, you have CD. Yes, they use it for traditional like consulting, but that's not the meaning of like the whole meaning of it. There's a representation. It's just like coins. People use coins to also consult. They use leaves to consult. So that doesn't make it negative. That is just a narrative that we want to change, because we have a rich culture that have been twisted in a way that people are shining away from it, but then we see those same people that twisted our heritage, they are picking it up again. So in the US, I see a lot of people that doesn't look like me wearing all the things that they told us it wasn't good. So why are they partaking in it? So just bringing it back to let people know that we have something that is good. Ghana, adioye, right? Yes. So that's what it's all about, and also to educate people about what we do. And if there are people that want to take a tour, there are so many places in Ghana that you can visit. I know when you talk to some of the youngsters, they want to go to Paris, they want to go to other places, and there are so many beautiful places in Ghana that you can capture, and it's the history behind those is amazing, and that's what we want to put out there.
Kofi, she mentioned something very profound, that there are a lot of beautiful places in Ghana. From where you sit, Ghana Tourism Authority, why are we not patronizing all these places?
Let me probably maybe also say that we are virtually having a lot of strategies that would get Ghanaians to patronize our made in Ghana products and services. It is very key to us as an authority. So just yesterday what we did was to launch the Heritage Month, which of course also involves activities like the Akwaaba Festival. And we have a lot of them where we are partnering with various organizations to be able to bring up number of initiatives that would get Ghanaians to also be part of visiting these places. One thing is that during the Heritage Month, what our Chief Executive, Mrs. Mamie Fuahwechato, indicated was that it is very important for us to let our stakeholders also be fully involved. One, the tour operators Union of Ghana, and then the Tour Guides Association, they are very key to making sure that domestically and internationally we take our tourists to the various tourist sites and attractions. So all these places, of course, as part of our domestic marketing campaigns, we are virtually putting the necessary wheels
in place to be able to make sure that these places are marketable, and also we are getting Ghanaians to go there. Yesterday when we launched the Heritage Month, of course, the number of events and activities, we have the Ghana Music Month, we have the Akwaaba Festival, of course we have Back to Your School Village, we have a lot of events and activities that we unveiled. We are looking forward to also giving more meaning to our domestic marketing campaigns, the See Ghana, the Eat Ghana, Wear Ghana, and then the Feel Ghana, and then also the Experience Ghana. Also we say Visit Ghana, the center of the world. All these are marketing campaigns that we are using to make Ghanaians appreciate our local products and services. Is
it not going to be a 9-day wonder? We've had these sloganarians in the past a lot of the time.
It wouldn't be a 9-day wonder. Of course,
because after Sit March, we barely, after the month of March, which is the Heritage Month, we barely see a lot of talks about wearing Ghana, seeing Ghana.
So you would recall that the government's flagship program, Black Star Experience, is up and coming. So with the Black Star Experience, what we are expecting to have is that every month we have something for Ghanaians to appreciate about our culture, our history, about our traditions. So all these are being put in place. Of course, yesterday, unfortunately enough, Rexoma, the coordinator of the Black Star Experience, was at the launch. We also had director of the Diaspora Affairs, KOD, Kofi Ochredako. They were all there. So all these, what we are doing is that it is more or less a multi-sectorial more like multi-sectoral collaboration and partnership. That is why we always make sure that the private sector is also fully involved. So we have CJ Multimedia, we have Tall Motherland, all being boxed into one, so we can push the agenda together. You see, when it comes to issue of heritage, it is very important that we bring everybody into the box, because each and every one have what it takes to bring something up. For example, we have about 16 regions, and all these 16 regions, everyone have their own unique identity. Food, clothes, music, art, language, especially the languages. I was very happy when Tall Motherland was so this is what we need to promote. Our language is very important. It is the first point where we are able to appreciate ourselves. I'm a Pan-Africanist, and it's something I trumpet all the time wherever I get to. So if you asked appropriately that what it is, of course our Honorable Minister, Honorable Ablaji Fagomashi, has promised that we are going to make sure that the Black Star Experience and then also our domestic marketing campaigns get a facelift, so that we are able to push into even the interlands, wherever we need to get to make sure the message gets to the people. Of course, if we have diasporans coming in for tour of the various tourist sites and attractions, it is very key that we also infuse it with aspects of our heritage, so that they understand, like Tall Motherland is saying. That is why she's on board, and then also CJ Multimedia being on board. All these boxed into one. We are hopeful of having a very good Akwaaba festival, and also
which is on the 6th of March, the 7th, and then the 8th.
And then the 8th, yes.
How do people participate, though?
Yes, people. You can always participate from the 6th to the 8th, and we also have the Black Star Awards, which dovetails into the Black Star Experience. We're going to honor various personalities that have done great jobs. You participate by probably getting to the venue, and then at some point also some are ticketed events. Some are ticketed events that you have to pay, you have to buy tickets and then also be part of it. Of course, when you get to the Ghana Tourism Authority, go to our social media, Ghana Tourism Authority, go to CJ Multimedia, go to Tall Motherland. The marketing strategies are all there. You can be part of it and then also appreciate our heritage as a people.
Okay, thank you very much. You wanted to add something?
Speaking on the last night, which is the Akwaaba night, it's a night where we have 4 major things that we're doing. We're celebrating the High Life Night, also the Black Star Awards, the Honorable Jifa Gomashi, Abeku Santana, Okumama Mazimbi, Nanaba Kwe also is a recipient of the award, Mr. Simons, and more. Aside that, we have the Wear Ghana Fashion Show, where we are celebrating the fashion, modeling and everything. And then we're going to have the dance as well, not just the cultural dance, but if you've noticed, the younger generation have taken over the world with dance, and so we are celebrating both well. adults as well. Being a young person and being the PRO is a blessing, but what that means is we are bridging the gap between the older generation and the younger generation. So 6 to 8 March, join us at National Theatre.
Join us at the National Theatre. Let's celebrate Ghana in grand style. Thank you very much. Someone, he's PRO for the Akwaaba Festival. Nana Abakwe, CEO of Tall Motherland Ventures, and Kofi Atakakra Kusi, he's Deputy Director, Domestic Marketing for the Ghana Tourism Authority. That's it for the show. My name is Lily Mohammed. Have a great day. I'll catch you later at 11:30 a.m. on the news. Bye for now.